Well, about last night, after more than a year of brain-twisting, reality-bending, you can't make it up plot twists, the 2016 presidential race ended last night with one final tectonic plate shifting 9.5 on the Richter scale earthquake. Hillary Clinton woke up yesterday virtually certain that she was going to be the 45th president of the United States. So did basically the rest of the political world. Instead, this morning, the Democratic nominee thanked a room full of grief-stricken friends and campaign staff members here in New York City, her running mate Tim Kaine at her side, as she publicly conceded the race to Donald J. Trump and wished him well as the soon-to-be leader of the free world.
Donald Trump is going to be our president. We owe him an open mind and the chance to lead. Our constitutional democracy enshrines the peaceful transfer of power. And we don't just respect that, we cherish it. Many of you are at the beginning of your professional, public, and political careers. You will have successes and setbacks too. This loss hurts, but please never stop believing that fighting for what's right is worth it. And to all the women, and especially the young women who put their faith in this campaign and in me, I want you to know that nothing has made me prouder than to be your champion. And to all the little girls who are watching this, never doubt that you are valuable and powerful and deserving of every chance and opportunity in the world to pursue and achieve your own dreams.
According to the AP, Michigan, New Hampshire, and Arizona are still too close to call. But based on returns in other states that came in during the wee hours of this morning, it looks like Hillary Clinton won the nationwide popular vote, while Donald Trump's unexpected surge in Florida, North Carolina, the Midwest, and the Rust Belt were more than enough to secure 270 electoral votes and send the New York billionaire to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in January. There was an extra cherry on top of Trump's historic night. Republicans held their majorities in the House and Senate, clearing the way for the enactment, potentially, of a bigly GOP agenda next year. Today at the White House, President Obama congratulated Trump for his upset victory and, echoing the president-elect's gracious speech last night, called for the country to unite behind its new leader.
Now, everybody is sad when their side loses an election. But the day after, we have to remember that we're actually all on one team. This is an intramural scrimmage. We're not Democrats first, we're not Republicans first. We are Americans first. We're patriots first. We all want what's best for this country. That's what I heard in Mr. Trump's remarks last night. That's what I heard when I spoke to him directly, and I was heartened by that. That's what the country needs.
So, Mark, you and I were at Hillary Clinton's putative victory party at the Javits Center last night, and we saw the mood shift from festive to apprehensive to tear-soaked and shell-shocked. So my questions for you are twofold. One is, what the hell happened yesterday? And the other is, how did so many people miss it so totally?
I think there are three things. One is, I think people in elite circles just couldn't understand or accept the fact that Trump had a chance to win. Second is, when the incumbent or the quasi-incumbent is below 50, in a normal race, you'd assume that the challenger is going to get a lot of the undecided vote. Right. And I think for some reason people just didn't read the polls that way. Kellyanne Conway and others who worked for Trump kept saying that. She's well below 50. And the last thing is, there's a human element in politics. I kept saying this when these websites that aggregate polls and say, Trump's chances are 13%, all they're doing is looking at polls. They weren't going out, watching the candidates, talking to voters. And if you did that, you saw it was a change election, and there was one candidate who was talking about fundamental change and one who was a creature of the Washington establishment.
Yeah, I'll push back just on the last point a little bit, just in this sense. Donald Trump got fewer votes in this election than Mitt Romney got 4 years ago. So Hillary Clinton got a lot fewer than Barack Obama got, 7 million fewer than Barack Obama got. So I just want to just focus for a second on some numbers, all right? We talked a lot about her problems with the coalition of the Ascendant. She underperformed Barack Obama significantly with Hispanic voters, even against Donald Trump and all the things he said about Hispanics. She underperformed him predictably with African-American voters. She underperformed him with millennials by a lot. And most importantly, to my mind, the big bulwark against Trump's big coalition of working class voters and rural voters, white voters, was that she was on track, according to every piece of data, public and private, to be the first Democrat in history to win white college-educated voters overall. She failed at that. She was supposed to win it by 20 points, according to every poll, including polling we did. She ended up winning white college-educated women, but losing white college-educated men, and only falling short of the total. So she only improved on Obama with white college-educated voters by 3 points.
Look, the lack of enthusiasm for her, I think, is a big part of the story, and it shows her low number. But again, I think part of the lack of enthusiasm, you saw that against Sanders, you saw it in the general, is people didn't see her as anything but same old establishment figure. And I will say, I cannot prove this yet, and I'm not sure I ever will be, but I think having a lot of the conversation at the end being Comey, on again, off again, on again, off again, whatever, just reinforced people's view that this is just going to be another same old, someone who they didn't want to be in the White House, and I think that depressed her vote with lots of groups.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. I agree with you that she suffered from a lack of enthusiasm. All I'm trying to say is that I think that Trump performed really well. His victory was across the board, as we've said. You know, he won all the red states, he won all the battleground states, and he won a few blue states. But his overall performance, again, was not that much better than Mitt Romney's. It was her failure to do what she needed to do with the key elements of what is now the Democratic coalition. That is the story here. And lack of enthusiasm, there are a lot of reasons for that on her side, but that was the core thing. She failed. This was a race for her that she should have won.
Yeah.